Hello, everyone. My name is Heather McCarty. I'm the Regional Program Manager for Region 2, and we also have Russell Jones. He's the Regional Program Manager for Region 9. We're going to be doing this session today, and I want to give you a little input about what this hour is going to look like. We're going to do a poll here in just a second. Then we are going to go into some breakout rooms. We have a couple questions that we would like you all to discuss, and we'll come back and share that feedback. And then Russell's actually going to walk you through the new look of Infinite Campus. We also have a written script that we'll put in the chat for you all that you can look at and follow along as well. We're not sure how much time we'll have for questions and answers. So Melissa Newton is actually going to put a Google Sheet in the chat for you all to put your name and email address, put any Infinite Campus questions you have. You can put that in the Google Sheet, and then Russell and I will go back and address those later and make sure you get your questions answered. Okay. So first, we would like everyone to do the QR code. I can't, how does it get there? Melissa, how do I get it to go to the next slide? I'm hitting enter and my arrow.
If you hover down in the bottom,
Mhm.
your controls should show up.
Oh, okay. I see it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It was hidden from my
Yeah.
bar down there. Okay. Thank you so much. That's why I'm glad you're here for us. Okay, if everyone can take a minute to scan this QR code, we'll give you just a minute to do this pre-evaluation survey regarding the new look in Infinite Campus. And then Russell, did you have anything to add? Okay.
I'm also
Nope.
going to put the link to the form in the chat if you don't have a phone on you handy.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Miss Newton. Okay, just a few more seconds before we move on. Okay, we're gonna put you all in some breakout rooms, and here are the few things we want you to discuss. We'd like you to discuss, have you looked at the new look? Have you looked at it? Have you used it? If you have used the new look of Infinite Campus, what do you think about it? And then also we want you all to discuss, why is Infinite Campus important for Frisk, and why do we use it? So we're going to put you some breakouts. We'll also put that information in the chat if you don't remember those questions. And then we'll bring you all back in about 10 minutes.
I think I'm ready to go in the breakout rooms, Heather, so you can let me know.
That sounds great. Thank you, Quentin. Another thing we were going to suggest to everyone on the call, if you're at your computer and you can pull up Infinite Campus, that way when Russell is going through the new look, you can go along with him as well and practice if you need to. So I wanted to make that suggestion as well. So you can go ahead and put that, put us in breakout rooms, Quentin. Thank you. For some of our latecomers that were joining, Melissa Newton is going to put a link in the chat for a pre-evaluation survey for Infinite Campus of the new look. You can click on that. There's just a couple of questions we would like for you all to review. Also, if possible, if you can pull up your own personal Infinite Campus from your laptop as Russell starts going through the new look with you all, you can do that as well. But before we do that, just want to take a couple of minutes, and if someone can share some of the discussion that you had in your breakout rooms, first and foremost, why is Infinite Campus important for Frisk? Why do we need Infinite Campus? Why do we use Infinite Campus? And why is it important for you all to input your data? Do I have a brave so out there?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Caitlin?
Yeah. We said in our breakout room that it's really good to have that data and that paper trail, but also it's easy to look in Infinite Campus and say, okay, I'm servicing this kid. They also have a brother at an elementary school, maybe a sister at the high school. So maybe we can try to get together and service the whole family. So that's really one thing that I like to use it for myself.
Thank you. One other person, why Infinite Campus is important for Frisk?
Whenever we have like an ongoing situation with a family that really needs help, we keep it short and sweet, but we in the notes section, the details, we say that, you know, this is, we call DCBS, we did this. And then, so whenever we go back and pull it up, we can see the history, see what's going on. And it just really helps us to know where they're at now and what we need to do next.
Thank you, Shannon. And then why is the data that you all input important for the division? Why is that data important for the division? Anyone?
Funding.
Funding. Thank you, Jenny. Yes, we want our stakeholders to see what wonderful coordinators are doing out in the field. So absolutely, funding. And then has anybody been using the new look? How do you feel about it? Or is anybody, there's probably some people on here who haven't even looked at it, and that's okay. But please be completely honest. I think
I had
Jessica.
no idea that there was a new look. Zero. I'd never heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're on this call.
I've
used it. I've used it, but our district kind of gave us a heads up that it was coming. I'll be 100% honest. I don't like it. It's not user friendly. You have to go back and forth into different areas of it. If you serve multiple schools, that adds another layer. So it's just not user friendly. So I appreciate that you guys are doing a training on it, and we'll probably need a couple more this year. And in our group, they asked when was it rolling out officially. I think ours is this next year, right?
So yes, great question. Some districts have rolled over right now and they're requiring their district to use it, but Infinite Campus will officially roll it out and districts will be required to use it beginning school year fall of 2025. So it is, so the division, we wanted to get ahead of this. We knew that it would take time for y'all to get familiar with it. We didn't want anyone to retire over this. We're here for you. We're here to support you. So, and I see a lot of people in the chat saying they haven't used it. So we're glad that you're here today. And we hope that this will be helpful. And like Jessica said, we will be offering multiple trainings and sessions on this. So I am going to turn it over to Russell now.
So I saw a lot in the chat of people saying you didn't like it, or some people, you know, when you came off of mute and we're talking that you didn't like it, that it wasn't user friendly. We hope today we're going to show you a couple things that might make it a little more user friendly for you specifically as a coordinator. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to look for, and we're going to start at the very beginning with everything with this, with the new look. So I'm going to show you Infinite Campus, and currently this is what your view looks like when you turn it on. This is the current view. This is the view everybody is used to. If you have Infinite Campus pulled up on your computer, what I want you to do is in the upper right-hand corner, you will see the little person that's up there. If you click on the person, it will come up to where you have options and it says try new look. And currently yours would say off. You will just click it to on. When you click that button, this now becomes your start screen. This is the start screen every time it comes up. It is very similar to what was on the old screen. There was a message center there as well, but this is used by some districts. Some schools use it. Others don't use this for anything. So a lot of times you could roll up and have a blank page. Okay. So this is what this is the start page for the new look. To get to anything, I'm going to use Melissa Newton's wording. to really get to anything, you're going to use the hamburger. Okay. So use the three little things up here at the top that looks like a hamburger. Okay. That's going to bring you to your menu. This is where you can choose all of the different things that you have. And yours will look like this. You have the main menu. When you go to the main menu, there's all kinds of things that you can pick from. And these are the things that you can do with the kids. These are the things you can find out about your students. These are the things that you have to look for. And there are some that are normal, like there's behavior, there's attendance. Those are pretty common. There are grades, profile, the summary page that you used to have. So we will pull up the summary page, and this is a good teaching point. When you generally will pull up a page in Infinite Campus, it would just take you to like a student. It'd take you to like the first student. On the new version, unless you actively search for a student, you can't do anything. Okay. So to search, you just go to the magnifying glass. So we'll search just any student. And before anyone says, we have had this conversation, we've had this question come up. All of these videos are published like on YouTube. They're all published for Division's YouTube channel. We are using the state scrambled site. So there is no personal information for any of these people. All this is completely fake information. So don't panic when we start showing up and there's actual real people's pictures and information and things that could pop up. So we're going to click on our first student. Here's the summary page. It's what we've been accustomed to seeing. It's all the same. It has all that same information that you've always been used to having. One thing that is kind of different with the summary page and with all of these pages is you can't flip between things. Like on your original page, you had all those little tabs that you could click on at the top of the screen. Those are gone. Okay, all of those are gone. Everything goes back through the menu. So everything goes back through the hamburger. So if you're working with Madison, then that's her profile. If you wanted to see her attendance, you have to actually go click attendance. And then it will bring up her attendance. If you want to look at her, if you want to look at her behavior, you would just go and you literally would just click on behavior and you could see any of the things that had been entered for her. So to find the Frisk tab, the Frisk tab is actually under, it's all the way down under, I'm going to get rid of that. Let's see. Oh, it's back in the profile. So it's under student information. And then you got to scroll way down the list. Way down the list. Under state programs, you'll see FRYSC. And you'll click FRYSC. And then it'll bring up the first page. So the one difference between the new look and the old look is really how you get there. It's how you get to what you're looking for. The pathway is different, but if you know how to do an individual intervention, you're still going to know exactly how to do an intervention. If you know how to do a group program, you're still going to know how to do a group program because the mechanics have not changed. The mechanics of actually doing the intervention. So we can click on add an intervention and it looks exactly the same as it has always looked. Okay. It's just how you get there is a little different. Okay. So don't panic when you first get in here looking at it because there's lots of things to kind of weave through as you're going through it. Okay, on the very beginning, on the front end. of everything because there are lots of options there's lots of options that you have. Okay. So if you scroll down and just keep looking, if there's another way you can look. So if you click this little box that looks this beside of it, Melissa, I forgot what you called this one. Was it a piece of pie or something? I can't remember what it was. But if you click the little box.
Waffle. It's a waffle.
Oh, that's a waffle? Okay, that's a waffle.
The square with the 3. Is that what you or the menu is fly out? Yeah, that could be a waffle too. I don't know. It depends on how hungry you are when you're doing this. I don't
Yeah. So if you click on this one, it's not, for some reason my computer won't let me do it, but it'll fly it out as like a big menu. And like you'll be able to see it on the full screen as opposed to just seeing it here. For some reason my computer don't like me. But when you look at things, you can always notice all the stuff is still the top at the top is still the same. You can change schools. You can do all of those things that you need to do. Okay. Heather, what have we missed thus far? I know I missed something and I can't remember what it was.
And you did show them the favorites, how,
Not yet. I went there yet.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I was going to,
So-
you just,
Are
Did
you
you show-
guys gonna, is this gonna be a recording that we can go back to? I'm sorry, I had a child in here and I missed totally that, what you was talking about.
yes, Quentin
Absolutely.
is recording.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And,
Okay.
sorry, Russell, everyone also, when you click on that individual intervention, it's going to look exactly the same way as the old version.
Mhm.
Like Russell said, it's just how you're getting there. But once you click on add intervention, it's going to look the same for you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was just going to talk about favorites, but go for it, Russell.
All right. Yes, Melinda.
Once you get to a student, how do you navigate back to
Okay.
the larger group? Because I can't get back.
Okay. See, so that's the other piece. Once you actually enter a student, you have to go back and you really aren't out of it. Like you never leave it. You never really leave that kid until you actually click on something else. Okay. So you're always going to be dealing with that one kid unless you physically go in and change who it is. So realistically, the only way you can actually go back is you could go here and you can go to the message center, or let's see, where's that at? I always forget where the message center is. Yeah, but you really can't. Like once you go back, unless you go like to the message center and then come back into it, you're always going to be with a kid. Like you're always going to have some kid pulled up at that time. So
Sorry, Russell, that if you can pull that screen back up again, see that back arrow that looks like a clock to the right of the star? That shows you where you've been as well.
So like now you can go back to the message center and actually be there. But from there, you're still, when you log back in, you're still going to log back in and it's going to bring that kid back up. Like whatever the last kid you were working with is going to be what's brought up to you. Okay. So going back through, there is something that we want to show you. So this looks very, I'm going to move where you all are at. Okay. This looks very daunting sometimes. For us, it looks very weird. There's a lot of stuff, but we found a few tricks that are going to help you. Heather showed one with the time, the history button that you're going to have the clock. It shows you what all things you have done during this session. Or no, during all sessions. Like it'll show you all the way back. I think it's like the last 10 things that you've done. So the last 10 steps that you've made. But there's another piece that you want to look at. The star in the middle. The star in the middle is a favorites tab. So the tabs that you're going to use the most often, you want to click. So we're going to go to the Frisk tab. What you'll notice on the Frisk tab is it has a star Yours probably looks like an empty star. If you click on the star, it will add it to your favorites tab. And then when you start looking at things, you can just bounce between your favorites. So you can just go to, if you want the profile, which is something different than the summer, which is a new report. For a profile, you can look, and at a moment's glance, you can get GPA, you can get attendance, you can get behavior, you can get like things that are required, like assignments that they have due already at a moment's notice. Like you can get that from one page, which is a new thing that's been added to Infinite Campus, which is really good. I like the profile much better than I actually do the summary page, honestly. But you have all of those pieces. So you've got all these pieces that are there, and you can just bounce between your favorites. So there's the summary, there's the Frisk group program set up. Like you can even create that as a favorite. You can look and do your state report as a favorite. So any of these pages can be considered favorites, and you can just come back to them. You can come back to them anytime that you want. You can come back to them, at need. So what it really is on the front end, there's going to be some setup that's going to be required from you. So you're going to have to figure out which tabs you want to use, that you're going to use the most, and go in and just favorite all of it.
Russell, do you mind to show them how to do a favorite again? With a
Yes,
separate
absolutely.
with a separate tab that's not already on your favorites.
Absolutely.
So show them how to
So-
get to a totally different tab and favorite it.
We'll do a couple. We'll do three. Let's do three of them. Let's do attendance. So you go from the main menu, you go to attendance. Then you go over and you click the star. And the star will turn blue. Then to check it, you just go to the menu and go to your star. And it'll show up at the bottom of the screen.
Thank you.
Okay, it'll show up at the bottom. So we'll do a couple more. We'll go and we'll do attendance. We will do behavior.
Hey, Russell.
Yes.
On my desktop, this might be what's happening. I'm on my desktop, and when I click the star is actually located by, like if I'm pulling up a student, it's located by the picture of the student and the tab that says attendance, and then the child's name is underneath. It's not over to the right for us.
Yeah, hang on just a second. I can tell you why. No.
Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
Yours probably
We were lost.
Your all's probably looks more like that, right? Like the star is right next to it.
Yes.
Yeah, my screen was zoomed. My screen was zoomed in, so that's what happened. Is why mine was farther over. So yeah, yours will probably look similar to what mine looks like now. Okay.
I was going to say, Russell, too, and if you're in a student, a lot of times if you click that related tools, if you're in student summary, it'll go ahead and show all those other tabs that you don't have to go over to the left.
Yeah, so that's where we were going to go. That's kind of the next thing we're going to look at is when you're in something, there's a little button up here that says related tools, and it will bring you a drop-down menu. And it's things that are generally associated with that tool. So if you're in grades, it's probably talking about assessments, attendance, behavior, all of these different things that could pop up. All of them are going to be there. Now, what you'll find are most of the related tools are also the things in the same category on the main menu. So like this is in the general category. So it's basically all of those same things, or it's a lot of those same kind of things. So that's how it determines what is a related tool. So yeah, that is actually a really good piece. We'll do one more of these so that y'all can see what it looks like probably on your screen. looks like. So we'll go in and look at, it doesn't really matter. Something we don't already have. Transportation. So if you go in and you wanted to do transportation as one of your favorites, you can go in and right beside transportation, you have the star. So you'll just click the star. And once you click the star, you don't have to do anything else. It will just show up on your populated favorites page. Okay. Makes it easier to just kind of bounce between things that you want to look for.
And
So-
Russell, can I add one thing?
Absolutely.
So in the chat, I'm seeing a lot of coordinators say, how do they get back to the profile and how do they go from student to student? So let's say you were on
Right.
Madison and you want to go back to another student. So how do you get to that profile? And then I wanted to throw it out there for coordinators. If you look up in the right-hand corner, you'll see where it says student information, general, and transportation. That's also your history and how you got to where you were on that page.
So a minute ago, when you ask how can you get back, Melinda, this is one way you can get back to like a menu is by doing what Heather said, by following that pathway back. So if you wanted to go all the way back to student information, this is what I was talking about a minute ago. This is what the flyout looks like. And it's all of those little things just on the screen so that you can see everything that's in student information. Okay. To where you can just kind of pull things and everything that you have access to.
Okay, but but if you click on something, it's still going to be that same
It's
student.
still going to be that same student.
Okay,
You would go to the search tab over there in the left-hand
on-
corner to
Mhm.
search for a new student.
The only way you can change students is to actually go search for a different student. That is the only way that it doesn't pull that one student's information. Is so you actually have to go and physically search for that student again.
You can also just erase that last name and click the magnifying glass and it'll
Yeah.
pull up all your students.
It will. But even if you even if you do that and you erase that, it will pull all your students back up. But if you don't select anybody else and you come back over, it still will be with that other student. It still stays with that student. So, because we put grades in, it automatically goes back to Madison. Every time that we come to it, it doesn't matter what we do, unless you actually physically change students, it will, as long as you're in this, it's going to come back to her. It's going to come back to that student every time. So you have to physically go and actually change the student that you're looking for. Now we want to show you, a minute ago, I told you that we're going to give you something that is hopefully going to make your life easier doing this. Okay. It can be very, if you have to go through this list of things, it's going to take a long time to find what you need. Okay. If you go and are looking at it in this form, you have to go through each one of these things to figure out what you need. But if you go to the search and from the menu, if you go to search, instead of searching for a student, okay, where it says top, instead of searching for a student, you can search for a tool. Now, if you search for a tool, you can type in FRYSC and it will bring up every tool that has to do with Family Resource Youth Service Centers. Okay. So you can click on that tool, or you can click on that. Yeah, you can click on tool and then you can go in and look and it will bring you, there's the student, there's the FRISC page. There's the group program setup. There's the state report. There's the program report. There's individual intervention rosters. There's the group program participation wizard. All those things that are FRISC associated are there. You can go in and you can search them, and then you can go in and just favorite them from the very beginning. If you're somebody that you know you're going to want athletics for some reason. Why, I don't know, but like say athletics. You can just type athletics and it'll give you that, what would have been that tab. If you want attendance, you can click on that and it will give you all the things you have access to for attendance. Can pop up there. So you can search these things by the tool and go in and hit favorites. And you really don't have to do anything else with the new view. Then you're just going to bounce on this favorites menu and just pick the things that you know you're going to use. Okay. And so once you're using the favorites, it's very simple to bounce between the things that you want to look for, because you can just go and look and see which one you want. Okay. For that particular student. Okay. It makes things a little simpler to just kind of run through. I really feel that once you all start getting into this and after you get your favorites set up, I've had a lot of coordinators tell me that it's actually easier to use the new view than it was the old, because you don't have as much stuff cluttering the way. You literally, if you're inputting Frisk information, you literally can just stay in the Frisk tab and never leave. Now, you don't have to worry about weeding through all this other stuff. You literally can just do the Frisk tab and not have to do anything else. So let me go back and let me show you that one more time. Okay, let me show you that one more time. So we're going to actually go back and we're going to look at we're going to go back to the very beginning. We're going to go back to the message center. We're going back where we started. And if it was me getting ready to set up the new view in Infinite Campus, what would I do? I would go to the little magnifying glass, and I would make sure that I selected, most of the time it defaults to student. I would go in and change the drop down to where it says tool, and I would type in FRYSC, and it would bring up all of the Frisk related tools. That's where I would start. And then from there, it's only where you would like to go. Okay, it's wherever you would like to look at things for. Whatever you use the most in Infinite Campus. Whether it be attendance, grades, behavior, whatever it may be. The summary page, the profile page, whichever one that you want, it gives it to you. All right, so we have thrown quite a bit of stuff at you. Heather, did we miss anything from the PowerPoint or from the handout?
Not that I'm aware of. I think you've covered it. We've just had a lot of questions about the profile tab.
Okay.
Do you mind, and some coordinators don't seem to have access, but you do just need to request that with your district. You can talk with your district contact. Every district should have an IC specialist that can grant you access. But Russell, if you don't mind, just actually show them the profile of a student and what all they're going to be able to see regarding that student, because we thought a lot of that was really interesting. Or did you already do that?
Yeah. Well, so we can go back through it again. This is the profile page, which is most of the time in your school, it's actually going to give you the picture of the kid, is actually going to pop up for you. But here we have the picture of the kid. From the profile page, again, you can see GPA, like to date GPA, if they're on how many credits that. So if they're let me find somebody that's in a different grade.
And then also, we get lots of questions too, Russell, about with this new look, the household information, because in the old look, you could see who all was in their household, where their grandparents lived.
We'll show you where that is too.
Okay, thank you.
I'll show you where that's at too. So on the profile page, so this is a high school junior. So on the profile page, you can see here, you can see who the teacher is. If anybody uses the early warning tool from the profile page, you can actually see their grad score at the top of the page. You can actually see their grad score, their overall score at the top of the page. This gives their address. Then at the bottom, you can see in progress, you can see current GPA, credits earned. Then you can see their attendance. You can see how many days they've been absent, whether it's full day by, how many class periods they've been out. You can see, then as you scroll down, you can see, and you actually can filter that by, do you just want full day? Do you want, what do you want by what you're looking at? But as you scroll on down, you can see any behavior incidents. And then I like this student to do thing. So if it's a kid you're working with a lot, and maybe you're mentoring a kid, or you're kind of working with them through having difficulty doing grades or with their grades or some of those things, it's a student to do. So you can actually see what work has been assigned to them and what they have. Now, are all of you going to have access to all of these things? Maybe not. It's kind of what Heather was saying a minute ago. It's what do you want to have access to, or what will your IC people let you have access to? So just know that this is going to be different district to district. So we were talking a minute ago where you can see like the households. Let's go back and search. Let's go back and just search that. Let's search a tool. And let's just type in house. Let's type in household and see what it gives us. You can actually go in and click the household information page. So to do that, again, you have to find the household. So you have to go back and you can search households in the tool. But let me show you a different way to look at it. So if you go back to student, and we're going to just click on the student we had just a moment ago. Or this is a different student. This student is a 12th grader, so you can see all the different things. You can see now what it looks like with, didn't earn as many credits as they had attempted and all of those type of things. But I'm going to do it through my favorites. So if you go and instead of the profile page, if you click the summary page, that is very similar to what you've always had before. The summary page is very similar to everything that's already always been there. It gives you address, it gives you household, it gives you all the other siblings that are in that household. So that information is there for you, and it's on the summary page. It also gives you phone number. You can also click map. So, I know that's been an option in Infinite Campus for a while, but hopefully you all have used that. There's a map feature where you can actually get a Google Earth map of the address, and you can get directions from your school. So that actually is a pretty good feature as well. So hopefully that answered that question.
Thank you, Russell. And we also have a question. If you're working with a student, weekly, daily, can you favorite a student? And I don't know the answer to that. I would think no, because
No, you
that
can't.
might be a confidentiality issue having that in your favorites, but I didn't know if you knew anything about that.
No, you can't actually favorite a kid. You can only favorite tools. That's the only thing you can favorite is the tools that you're able to use. Now, there is another little feature, and I don't know if it'll pop up when we look at it.
But while you're on that page, sorry, Russell, while you're on that page, can you show them where that little map tab is? Because that question just came in the chat. The map for the address.
So if you go down and look right here, it says household primary address. There's a little blue thing under it that says map. If you click on that map, you should be able to see this. Like it gives you like where the map is. And again, this is not real data, so it's not going to give you a real map, but that's what it will do. It'll bring up something with Google Earth and give you
a Russell.
look. So it's just there as the map. But if you go back up and look, I don't know if it'll pull it for us right now, but if you look beside their name, there's this little thing that looks like a picture. It looks like an ID card right? That's what like your badge for school. It's what it looks like here. This is their information card. If you click on that, it just gives you all the stuff at a glance. It gives you phone numbers for parents. It gives you email. It gives you all of that stuff that you might want to see just at a moment's notice. So there's some other just information on that card that maybe you don't have, that's all on here, but you don't have to actually go search for it. You can just look at that information card. All right.
Russell.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so when I'm in the search and I'm typing, it says type and then it says search, type, and you scroll down and I'll click student. Then I'll go to search. Then I'll type a student's name. It'll say the school year and it'll say the school, but it'll say no results found. Then I'll go down to the bottom to where it says reset or advanced, and I can click advanced and type the student's name in, and it gives me all of her information. But I can't get to it just by going type, search. I have to go to advanced to find that student.
Are you in the right year, the right school year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and honestly, that could be a district, right? Or what, because every district's different. Every district has some permissions on and some not. And I'm sure all districts are working through this transformation. So hopefully that'll get fixed for you, Melissa, in the future.
Okay.
Yeah. And I may have to come look at it. But what we're gonna do now is any questions that you all have, we don't have time to kind of answer all the questions right now. So what we're going to do is Melissa's going to actually put a link in the chat for a Google document. You can feel free to go in and put any kind of Infinite Campus questions that you have on that document. And then in the next week or so, Heather and I are going to go through and we're going to look at all the questions and we're going to answer them. And when we answer them, because you've actually clicked on it in Google, you actually will have access to it when we put the answers in. Like you'll be able to see it. But I think we're going to turn it into a frequently asked questions document to put on the training hub. So y'all are going to help us out tremendously by putting in questions if you have them.
And I have been adding that link in throughout and been putting some of those questions that we've gotten in the chat. So, but if we don't get to, we'll get to all the ones that are on the form. So it's a form. Absolutely. It's a form that you fill out that will make a spreadsheet that will turn into an FAQ.
Okay.
And then you can, and make sure you put your name and email address. So we'll be sure, because everyone on this call will be able to get the answers to those questions, because there's been a ton of questions in the chat and it's just taking a little bit more time. We know that 1 hour just isn't enough for Infinite Campus. So, but we're going to be working on this, like I said, for the remainder of the school year. We want you guys to be prepared as possible when school starts next year. I am going to.
And one other thing that I'll plug is the division's YouTube channel. So once I get this video edited and cleaned up a bit, we'll make this video available to folks, and also the training hub, because there is an Infinite Campus whole page dedicated to Infinite Campus that has lots of information on it about like how to do group programs and how to individual interventions. But we've also started being able to put the new view information. So there's that one pager that has screenshots and instructions on the new view, and we'll link the video there as well. So as we have resources, that's going to be a great place to find them, because that'll probably be the first place I put them is on the training hub. So, and the YouTube channel, go subscribe and hit like.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. So if you will please do the post evaluation, we would greatly appreciate that. And just want to send that, put the plug in that the main difference with the new look is how you're getting to where you want to be. But once you figure out your access and how you're going to get there, I think you are really going to enjoy the new look. I think you'll find it easier. Okay, it's all about how you're getting to where you want to go. So once you start practicing, you're going to get better at it.
Hey, you can't break it. You're not going to break Infinite Campus. Don't be afraid of it. You can't break it. It's okay.
I honestly think the new look is going to be better for coordinators, and they are going to be able to see different things that maybe they couldn't see in the past and have more access and resources.
I did see a really quick question here. Is it possible to go back and forth between the two? And right now it is, right? When
Yes.
you click on your profile and that first drop down on that little person looking thing, you can switch it off and on. So
yes. I think you have, this is your last school year.
Until July 1st of 2025. So that's the other reason why we want to get this information to you as quick as possible so that you can practice before it's officially live.
Right. And I saw in the chat, a lot of new folks are coming on and they're saying, this is the only IC I know. So you are going to be able to help us in the future because this will be all that you know, so you can help us learn as well.
Absolutely.